Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry for the hiatus. I am back. I am here to talk about Lana Del Rey and her return. Her new song is titled, Did You Know That There Is a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard? And I almost said, Did you know there is an ocean under Tunnel Boulevard? It's hard to keep this title straight in your mind. But we have not only the title track as the new single, but the announcement of the album of the same name. Only a tiny bit over a year after she gave us Blue Banisters in 2021. And of course, we also got 2 albums that year. So if you know me and my talk and my discussion on Lana, you know that I've been wanting the girl to take some time off. I feel she needs a little bit more time to bake her ideas in the oven. I felt that Blue Banisters could have benefited from that. But in the anticipation of this new record, we have been told by her or her team or someone close to her that this album is not going to consist of old demos or older songs that she's mixing in with newer stuff. This is going to be entirely newly penned material between the last 2 years. And hopefully this album will be a little bit more cohesive because of it. Because I do think that Blue Banisters and to a certain extent Chemtrails suffer from that lack of cohesion, something that NFR just had, I think, in spades, and other albums like Ultraviolence and Honeymoon even more so. So I'm hoping we get I'm not saying there won't be experimentation and there won't be songs that might sound a bit left field, but I'm hoping that this album feels a little bit more like a polished package that is going to be presented in a way that makes you want to sort of hold it up in esteem and put on your shelf as a timeless classic Lana Del Rey record, like her bests, Ultraviolence, NFR, Honeymoon, and her debut. What a wordy title, but you know what? If we know Lana and her poetry, it's what we've come to expect. I actually think it's brilliant. I had to Google where Ocean Boulevard was, or the one that she is specifically mentioning. I assumed that it was somewhere in Los Angeles or somewhere in the SoCal area. However, I wasn't able to necessarily figure out what Ocean Boulevard specifically she was referring to. If you look at the East Coast, for example, there are a ton of Ocean Boulevards. We've got one in Kitty Hawk, Virginia. We've got one in nearby Lewis, Dewey Beach and Lewis in Delaware. We've got one, I think, up in Massachusetts, if I'm not mistaken. There's one near Myrtle Beach. There's tons of Ocean Boulevards. So which one she's referring to, who knows? But apparently there's one specifically. There's one in Seaside Heights, New Jersey. There's one that has a tunnel under it. And leave it to Lana to take something and metaphorically expound upon it like nothing else. This is a slow-paced, moody, atmospheric piano song, but don't fear, it's not just piano. We have some orchestra coming back. I've really missed the orchestral elements. There were tiny, tiny bits of it on Blue Banisters, but not very much. Even NFR was like holding back on the orchestras. But if we go to Honeymoon or Ultraviolence, it had orchestras galore. And I am very excited if we're kind of returning a little bit more to that sound. Now, Jack Antonoff is once again a producer listed on this song and the entire record, along with Drew Erickson. She's worked with these people before. So sonically, is it going to be that different in terms of the beat structures and things we're used to hearing from these, which might not even have any? I mean, Blue Banisters barely had any beats at all, which is fine. But, you know, if she's wanting to do something a little bit more up-tempo, I'd be interested to see how that will work out. I do think this album should have a little bit more diversity in terms of if it's going to all sound exactly like this song, that could be a problem because I think some people are getting a little fatigued by the piano ballad stuff that she's been heavily indulging in. I will say the melody on this one is pretty strong. I think melody has still sometimes felt like an afterthought for Lana in certain recent songs she's written, but I feel a strength here. I feel a power when the chorus rises. You know, open me up, tell me you like it, tell me you love me to death, love me until I love myself. I mean, that chorus really lets itself swell in all the right ways. And then the subtleness of the delivery of the verses, the sort of broken, almost like her voice is, you know, she's whispering, but she's not. She's just very muted. It's very emotive. Mosaic, did you know there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? Mosaic ceilings, painted tiles on the wall. I can't help but feel somewhat like my body marred my soul. handmade beauty sealed up by two man-made walls. And I'm like, when's it going to be my turn? Using this idea of a decorated tunnel under a, busy, bustling place as a metaphor for the heart or the soul, the spirit, feeling kind of neglected, is what I'm getting at from where she's going with this lyrical content. Something that is once, it's somewhere she wants to bring her partner so that they can escape and see a side of her that she's able to fully feel confident in expressing to her partner, something that she doesn't get to show to most people, and also is a place that she feels truly safe, somewhere where she doesn't normally feel otherwise. Harry Nilsson has a song. His voice breaks at 2:05. Something about the way he says, "Don't forget me," makes me feel like I wish I had a friend like him. Someone to get me by. Lennon in the back, whispering in my ear, "Come on, baby, you can thrive." I'm not familiar, and Lana would hate me for this, for not knowing who Harry Nilsson is or this song, "Don't Forget Me," that she actually samples at the end of the song. Wonderfully sampled. I was wondering who the vocals were. It sounded like a woman, but Harry Nilsson is a man. So maybe there's a female choir that backs him up. I'm not entirely sure there. It might just be the way the vocals sort of muted or distorted in the background. But it kind of, encapsulates the vibe and ambiance of that heavy sigh that, I think at the beginning where there's that exhale, I can almost imagine her smoking and just sort of taking a whiff, and the beginning of the song as the lush orchestral sets in, just sort of laying down in her satin sheets, and her hair is just done up with that pretty bow on the album cover, and just sort of bearing her soul in a way she never has before. Though there is to be something to be said about the way she bore her soul in her lyrics and songwriting thus far. So, one can often wonder just how much further can she take this sort of plaintive, moody piano balladry that's very poetic. And so anyway, it's going to be a very interesting ride, but I have a feeling that Lana is going to get a much a stronger critically acclaimed body of work out from this. There's just something about it. Now, I will say the album cover, at first I was a little disappointed. There's actually like 6 variations to it. My favorite might be, although I've kind of now fallen in love with the standard, with the blue. It sort of reminds me of Joni Mitchell's blue album cover with the heavy blue tint to the photograph and the way her head is tilted. But I do like the one where she's laying on the pillow. Some of the covers I definitely don't like. Some of the variants I'm okay with. I mean, it's an intimate, behind closed bedroom doors kind of feel, a bedtime stories kind of feel, if you will. And I think it will pay off as, again, Lana exploring an aesthetic that, albeit maybe she's been lingering in for a long time, and maybe it's starting to lose its luster a little bit, but I'm always going to be tuned in for it. I hope that if this is the record, apparently Lana's computer was stolen. I think from her laptop, her album got kind of actually lost. Recently, there was a theft that she had to deal with, but apparently, and she didn't have a backup, but apparently that's been resolved, because assuming that this is this project. So I'm very excited to see the album comes out in March, so I will be reviewing it. I will not be reviewing any more songs up to that date, though. I want to kind of just focus on the album reviews, but I did want to initially give my thoughts on the new single. And I'm very excited for the features. She's got a lot of big names that she's been talking about or collabing with other projects for a long time that are finally kind of at home on her own record. So I'm very excited to see how the features play out. Overall, I think it will be quite a poetic journey. I also think there's probably going to be a lot more spoken word poetic interludes going on here. Something I'd love to see more of, because I still have not listened to her poetry book or read it, Violets Bent Backwards Over the Grass. Maybe one day. It sort of came and went, and we all forgot about it, and I just never got around to it. But I could definitely read a poetry book of hers. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on Lana? Snooze, or I don't know what rhymes with snooze to counteract that, but is it the opposite of a snooze? Is it getting you excited for what's to come with her? Thank you all so much for watching. Full day. Peace, love, and light. Bye.